Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome back to the Curse of the Pirate Coast. Curse of the Pirate Coast. Most coasts are pirate coasts. This is the Curse of the Vampire Coast. Where we are gonna be alright, probably. Possibly gonna be alright. So before we hit the end of the turn here, we are just standing around in normal stance, and there's not really a reason to do that. Why don't we just try digging for treasure? Just a little bit. Hey, look at that, we didn't find anything. Oh well. Am I allowed to, like... Okay, so what we're probably learning here is that it's not like every time I dig there's a chance to find a treasure map. It's that there are probably areas on the map that have treasure maps. Because if it was just a chance every time you dig, it appears that you can just engage the dig stance an infinite number of times each turn. So I'm not sure how much value that information actually has to us, but we certainly have it now. So Swamp Town is going to undergo a rebellion here. We're gonna, see a bunch of, apparently, Empire secessionists show up. And then we're going to put them in the ground and steal all their stuff and sell it on the black market for sweet, sweet pirate gold. It's like a plan. It's like a plan that I had, except, obviously, not that. The good news is that we're almost back to full strength, and we can probably still take a shot at these guys. Obviously, it would be better to lure them out of the city. Those couple extra units they got from the city garrison really did make all the difference. To the south, lizardman tribes are going to war with each other. That's probably nothing but good for us. Anything that distracts and weakens the lizards is likely to be in our favor. And our lord out there on the ocean is starting to get pretty close to where she's going, I think. Hopefully, man, I really, really hope that when we get to the Khemri lands and we figure out where to dig with that treasure map, that it turns out to be worth all the trouble. At this point, I almost wonder if it's possible for it to be, because what we're paying like 600 extra gold per turn for her, hard to imagine that we're going to get, like, super great value. But, we might find treasure and also a treasure map, or who knows. What do we got here? Ahoy there! We've come across an enemy encampment devoid of life and littered with corpses. Half-devoured bodies are scattered about the clearing. The fallen dead were elite riflemen. Surely one among them will be used to us. Or perhaps we should seek out the creature that caused this massacre. Okay, this is interesting. So we can get a Gunnery Wight, or we can get a Mourngul Haunter. These are both types of heroes. The Gunnery Wight is a support hero who improves your gunpowder units in some way, but I'm not 100% sure how. And the Mourngul Haunter is just a really big, mean Mourngul. My initial feeling on this is that we should take the Haunter, because we have to get 3 Haunters to level 20 in order to win the game, right? That's one of our objectives. But, given that it is the case that we already have to hire a bunch of Mourngul Haunters, we're going to be going to the Mourngul Haunter buildings pretty quickly as it is. So maybe we'd be better off getting the Gunnery Wight, because we might not be able to get another one for a while. Also, I'm really curious what they do. That said, we did lose our unit of Mournguls, and if we want to have that infantry shredding capability back, we might have to... I'm pretty torn on this, actually. I guess let's go for the Haunter. I think Mournguls are really powerful. We are now being raided by Jürgen von Altdorf. That is a problem that we will solve. And one of our admirals has been secretly recruiting crew members and collecting supplies. Their loyalty to the fleet is questionable. Well. Also, Aminar has risen and attacked a coastal region. Boy, these guys cannot catch a break, huh? Alright, so if you broke away from the fleet, you've just been slowly burning loyalty. I don't know that there's a lot I could do about that, and also I don't know how much it would matter. So we've discovered another hidden pirate cove. We probably can't afford to raid the cove. Okay, that time we got 1,500 gold. You know what? I was wrong. We're really not that close to where we were going. But this is a really, really good time for us to have gained 1,500 gold. I feel pretty good about that part. Alright, where's my... Okay, my Morgul Hunter spawned all the way over here. That's a little bit inconvenient. Really wish he had taken up position near our army.
All set.
Alright, well, we can grab a couple more units.
Ready.
And then let's have at these guys. It's just, yeah. It's just low-level Empire troops. Should be pretty easy to knock out. And killing him's gonna be worth a little bit of money to us.
We fight.
Okay, so what did we get? We got 700 gold, and then we can get more by ransoming them.
Take the booty.
We can share the loot with this pirate. I don't know that we need to gain loyalty necessarily. And we don't really need the unit replenishment either.
Rule the night seas.
Okay, that was pretty good. And we got a new mission. Find the hidden treasure by solving the riddle. The world is blighted with these monuments to fear. The sightless eyes and leering grin conceal the riches held within. Reward only a miserly hoard of treasure. Well, that doesn't sound that great. Looks like it's also down in that area. So if that captain doesn't mutiny on us, hopefully she could make us kind of rich. So we picked up a new hero here, or a new lord, and I'm not really sure what to do with her. Well, the hunger is pretty powerful. We probably ought to pick up Route Marcher first. I think Route Marcher is just, it's super good. It's pretty much always right.
Prepare my coffin.
And then let's
Of the night.
let's go and reinforce Swamp Town for the moment. We're having a really hard time with public order in this area. And we're 3 turns away from being able to improve the settlement and thus get ourselves growing another public order building. We could grab some bloated corpses, I guess, for the attempt on taking Port Reaver again. But maybe the right thing to do here is to just chill for a second and then recruit troops on the other side of the border from that larger raised dead pool. Over here, we can level something up to level 3. Man, what do we want to do? Okay, leveling this one up to level 3 doesn't actually get us any new troop types. Probably we want it to be the Monument of the Moon or the High Sentinel. All of a sudden, we are suffering additional public order events. Huh. Wait, why am I losing 2 public order from events? Alright, let's level up the High Sentinel. The reason I'm saying that is we can get the other level of the port, and we can level up this building at the same in the same stroke there. Although I guess that's a lot of money we're talking about. Also, I'm just now noticing that our Morgul Haunter is named Tommy Anstand. It's a little bit less menacing than I was hoping his name might be. I guess they were all people once. That's maybe kind of a crappy way to put that. He's still a person. He's just, you know, a really mean, evil, terrifying person. We're going to have a hard time taking those guys out at Port Reaver if they don't ever leave the city. I'm wondering if we could maybe move up a little bit and set an ambush for them. When we go into ambush mode, we disappear from the map for all other players, and then anybody who gets an army anywhere near us gets to roll a check. And if they fail the check, we do not become visible to them. And if they move within a certain radius of us, we get to do an ambush battle. I'm hoping that we can actually pull an ambush off. The AI falls for them relatively frequently, and they can be a really powerful way to take advantage of a force that is, like, slightly superior to you. And I don't even think their force is actually as good as ours, or at least it won't be once we're at 20 units. So hopefully it should be pretty easy to take them out if we can get an ambush off, and then we get to take Port Reaver afterward for free, basically. I wonder how many turns we have until our treasure hunting lord tries to flip on us. I'm pretty sure when you're playing Skaven and Dark Elves, when a lord gets really low on loyalty, you get an event that you have chances to raise their loyalty by paying various costs. So we might be able to keep her on side. I guess we'll find out. The sight of wrecked ships is nothing new for a seasoned pirate, but this particular one heralds a welcome surprise. Packed to the keel with brand new weapons, armor, and gunpowder. Yeah, okay, like, buffs. Big army buffs. Well, I don't know exactly how much... We don't have a ton of missile infantry anymore. So let's stick to fodder no more. Let's get ourselves some fancy armor and weapons.
You will. Let us raid.
She wants to raid. Unfortunately, we need 50% of our campaign movement to raid. Oh, interesting. That pool replenished. Oh, there's depth guard in there. Those guys look fancy. 59 attack, 31 defense. Big anti-infantry. Wow, that is a cool unit. I'd actually really like to grab one of those. So, you grab ourselves another unit of mortars.
True queen.
Hold on a second, hold on. Let's go over to Bosselin. Okay, no, we're not going to get any treasure this turn, unfortunately. I'm not really sure how the raised dead pools work in terms of, like, replenishment. So I don't know if it's possible that we will lose access to this unit this turn. It may not be a big deal that we can't grab it. But I want to be able to grab it next turn if we can. So we would need to spend like 650 or fewer. Well, I do like the idea of grabbing another one of these. The other mortar is also kind of compelling. A pair of mortars is a pretty big deal. And we don't actually know if this is a good unit or not. It's just kind of a fun unit. Yeah, let's take the mortar. A second artillery, I think, is perfectly reasonable. And then we'll just chill out here in encampment mode, I guess, so that we can continue to replenish. And hopefully they won't come out to fight us.
Absolutely not.
I mean, it would be 17 to 16. It wouldn't be that unlikely to work out in our favor. All right, the Haunter's going to catch up next turn as well.
Yes, master.
Oh, you know what? I miscalculated. Because I was thinking about the amount that we would need to hold plus the income from before we recruited a new unit. But post-recruiting, of course, we're getting less income because we have more upkeep to be paid. So we're not going to be able to recruit the depth guard either way, so I may as well just grab the other gunnery mob now. So we'll be at 18 units plus the Haunter, or 18 units with the Haunter. Yeah, we're in position to get a little aggressive, and unfortunately, the lizards are running out to grab the rest of my province. There's not really a lot I can do about it. We certainly can't go over there and fight this stack. I bet it's like 17 units of Sauruses, and then a couple of skinks, and we just can't fight Sauruses right now. It is a crying shame. I kind of hope these guys come out after us. If they don't, maybe this would be a good time to threaten Mazdamundi, because he just rebuilt this settlement, right? So his army's going to be pretty torn up. Maybe we could run over there and kill him, and if we did, then we could probably turn our eyes north toward Hexuatl. If we took it quickly, before he could spawn another stack, maybe we could just still knock Hexuatl out of the game. Kind of hope so, because I think the longer this goes, the worse it's going to be to fight them. He's starting a second stack. That's not a great sign. Yeah, I got us into a bit of a grim situation. There has been maybe some minor administrative mismanagement here. Because if it takes much longer to clear out the New World colonies, the Lizardmen are going to end up with both of these settlements, which is going to mean we can't go anywhere near uniting the province. So we're going to have huge public order problems in the part of this province that we can own, basically forever. And the lizard men are going to be getting even richer and more powerful. Oh yeah, our paladin's back, and so is Cylostra. So...
The sea brings death.
Who the real star is.
Alright, let's replace this lord with Cylostra Direfin. I clicked the wrong check mark, and then nothing happened, because that button, you know, doesn't work that way. And I was totally flummoxed by it.
Madame Cylostra, dear fan.
Alright, you get as close as you can.
Oh, my
You just chill out and raid, maybe? Oh, interesting. We've got some new units available in the pool. A zombie gunnery mob with hand cannon. What is your deal? Missile damage 28, but multiple projectiles. Yeah, let's try him out. And the last slot in the army will be for the Morngul. Now, unfortunately, our hero came back with no health, which I was not anticipating. Worth a shot, and then we instead go into... Wow, he's really not regaining health quickly. That's actually really unfortunate. He's an important unit. Right, I'm pretty sure it makes more sense to go down the coast than to go down on the water than on the land. I think we're a little faster on the water, and I also feel like we're in less danger on the water. So what was the riddle? Not all wonders are created by the gods themselves, some are mortal creations. Okay. I don't remember the names of all the settlements down here. Maybe that will refer to one of them clearly once we actually can see them. And we're about to have yet another rebellion outside Swamp Town. I think we're going to have to just let the New World colonies build up. I don't think I have time to run over there and stomp them. So the deal with the... oh, man. He is looking weak. The deal with the rebel armies is that they spawn pretty weak. They recruit very, very rapidly. And while they're recruiting, you get a massive public order bonus in your province because all of the people who were unhappy are leaving your population to go and join the rebel army. So it can sometimes be beneficial to let a rebel army sit and recruit for a turn or two, just to let them, you know, pull more of the malcontents out of your population. But obviously their army gets more powerful when you do that. And also, that means you have to, like, stick around a little bit more. I really, really want to chase the lizardmen into the jungle. Declaring war on Hexawaddle at this moment is probably not wise. We have enemies enough as it is. Okay, I'm going to choose not to engage.
Exit! Stage left!
He can chase us potentially, okay, but he didn't have the move to finish coming after us. That's fine. I don't think that negatively affected us at all. In fact, it might have been beneficial. I'm a little surprised at how in his favor the balance of power there was, but I am more inclined to believe it after the loss that we recently suffered. So we'll merge up the Morngul, and then we'll probably just take out the rebels. I don't think I want to wait. Kind of want to take out the rebels and then maybe see if we can get an ambush going. Oh, hey, the rebels spawned and attacked in the same turn, which is not a thing that I think they're actually allowed to do. Okay, well, I would really like it if we didn't lose this city. Yeah, my impression was that the rebels had to, like, hang out for a turn and actually gather recruits. I can't imagine we win this, but there is a bloated corpse in the garrison, and that gives me a little bit of hope. Also, a deck dropper, which means that we have a flying ranged unit that they don't really have a lot of recourse against. They have a single ranged unit, and I don't think it's a very powerful one. Unfortunately, it is fast. Flying ranged units, usually you can get a lot of value out of them by just making the or just, you know, getting around the enemy, taking advantage of the mobility. But against cavalry with guns, it's a little trickier. How do we want to set up here? I probably want to try to take advantage of the fact that my my ranged exists while theirs basically doesn't. So put this guy like way back here. And we'll go gunnery mob, both the melee groups, and gunnery mob. And we're just gonna, you know, run into them. And then try to flank around them with our various guns. And I want to try to keep the bloated corpse out of the way so they don't see him. And then once we have engagement, try to get a couple of them grouped up in bloated corpse range. And then get a good multi-explosion. And if we do that, I think there's every chance that we can actually do some real damage here. Now they have to come to us on this one, because they're attacking. So if the timer were to run out, I would be victorious. I don't know that it really benefits me too much. Do any harassment. We could run our deck droppers up. What kind of guns do you guys have? Oh, just like little tiny pistols. Yeah, we could just run our deck droppers up and try to harass, but I'm worried that we're maybe going to get outshot by the pistoliers. The pistoliers certainly think they're going to outshoot me. Let's just speed up the approach a little bit here. Okay, maybe a little bit more than that. These pistoliers are going to accidentally reveal my bloated corpse. Don't you do it. Alright, let's see if we can maybe overwhelm them with a superior volume of fire, despite the fire not actually being any good. It's actually working pretty well. Yeah, the big benefit for us here is that pistoliers are not actually good units, as far as I can tell. I have certainly never, like, been attacked by a group of pistoliers and thought, oh no, whatever shall I do? Okay, time for this guy to make his appearance. This gunnery mob needs to go up here. This one could try to get over here. This is actually kind of working. Yeah, see, we get to fire into their flanks, which is definitely having a morale effect. Then again, I thought the last plan was working too, so maybe I shouldn't speak so quickly. Alright, go get him. Let's see how much damage we can do. Okay, that was alright. So, yeah, a big part of the problem is that it seems like the basic zombie deckhand mob has some real leadership problems. It starts crumbling at the drop of a hat. Try to keep the ranged fire focused on the guys who are not yet running, because we need to convert them into guys who are running. Honestly, another bloated corpse or two, and we could have really thinned their numbers here. Okay, not too many more to break down, actually. And if we can get them all retreating at the same time, we will win the battle. Unfortunately, I do think it's going to be difficult to run their lord off. is an Archlector, and those guys are, first of all, pretty good at fighting the undead, and secondly, stalwart. Stalwart, to put it mildly. Gonna do enough range damage to these dudes to get them running off again. I was hoping to break these guys before we had to retarget. Hey, but look at this. So when units retreat, they do a little bit of leadership damage to friendly units nearby. If people see their friends start fleeing, they are also inclined to start fleeing. So you can sometimes get a little bit of a cascade of leadership losses. It's not really been working out in our favor so far. Come on, guys. All you need to break and scare everybody else. And we're actually running out of ammo on our flyers. Honestly, our deckhand mobs have been doing an admirable job here. They're really holding out. Come on, guys. Just finish the job. We're so close. I'll be really annoyed if we lose this settlement to a one-turn rebel army. Okay. Right now, their hero's actually all that's left. Alright, get them surrounded. Everybody else is broken. They're not all permanently broken, though, so I'm going to keep firing into their backs as they retreat over here. Well, that is a whole lot of screen shake for no real reason, as far as I can tell. Yeah, we're having a really hard time doing any meaningful damage to this guy. Lords and Heroes are really, really much better units than a lot of others. Alright, let's try disengaging these guys and just having at him with gunfire from two sides. Okay, that's doing some morale damage. He's still running around in the middle of my units, which is making shooting him really tricky. Yeah, it does seem like massed ranged fire is actually a pretty okay strategy, even though our units are not particularly powerful or accurate. Just bullets are scary, man. Scarier even than zombies. Yep, so just keep all of our all of the units actually fighting him on one side, so that we can keep shooting him in the back. And remember, it does not matter what state our forces are in here, as long as we win. Because the garrison will just regenerate for free, trivially, over the next turn or two. Just keep running. Just keep running. Apparently we can fire while moving. I had not realized. Everybody just try to stay away from the Archlector while everybody else shoots at him. He's just a little bit too fast for this to work. It's unfortunate that my units are so slow. Okay, that guy is, or that unit is now formally, permanently broken. And this guy, unfortunately, has no concern about the fact that he is being killed by bullets. Like, his morale dropped, but it hasn't actually moved substantively in a while here. I was hoping a good cavalry charge would maybe shake him a little bit, but it seems to be having the opposite effect. He's killing bats, and he feels really good about that. Keep shooting, guys. You almost got him. We are running out of bullets, unfortunately. Okay, cavalry charge on the flank is doing a little bit of leadership damage. He is still just tough as hell. We can probably fast forward this a little bit. And they're going to get him or they won't. There's not a lot of strategy left to apply here. And if we can break him, he's the only unit left on the field. If we break him, we win. He's close. He's so close. Okay, there we go. It is ridiculous that that was that difficult or that it took that long. The good news is a one battle here means that we get to make some money off of them. 184 kills for one of the units of gunners, and 142 for the other. 91 for the bloated corpse. It's a really good thing he was here, because we just barely got through the number of troops that were left after his explosion. I do really wish that I could have had like a second one of those instead of the second deckhand mob. Might have been pretty good. Definitely ransom them, because we need the money. We did not make a huge amount of money off of that battle, actually. The gods of your enemies have directly intervened in our interests, sowing destruction across our realm. How do we confront a god's wrath? Well, great. That's exactly what we needed, was even more negative public order due to events.
Madame Cylostra, dear fan.
Alright, the good news is our paladin's now regenerating quite quickly. We may as well knock these guys out the rest of the way.
Witness my greatness!
Okay, apparently they feel Cylostra has fought multiple battles very far away from the capital. I mean, the capital's right there. But I'm not going to complain about 10% extra movement range. That's pretty awesome. And she received the Wand of Jet. Oh, which will give us an ability to refill our power reserves. It's actually really nice. And she levels up, so the way most schools of magic work is you get a couple of spells here in the first box, and then there's also a passive ability that is relevant to your school in some way. For us, it's the Kiss of the Deep. Every enemy on the field will take damage over time for 4 seconds every time Cylostra casts. That seems pretty powerful given how cheap her spells are, but what is this thing that only has one charge? Or that only has one level? It is a thing that summons a unit of rotting Prometheans. Yeah, give me that one. I do love summoning spells. So Evanescence is certainly powerful, but I wonder if we might be better off just picking up more melee attack with him? Now, let's get the ward save. Honestly, this may well have made the difference in that big battle that we narrowly lost. Because it really was narrow. But improving his attack, his offensive stuff, probably wouldn't have made a difference, because he was already killing with a lot of his strikes. It's just that he couldn't, he could only hit so many enemies per attack. Alright, Sorcerer's Islands are probably not a man-made wonder. I mean, unless the islands were actually created by magic? I don't know if the Tomb Kings have access to magic like that, but maybe that's what they mean. I'm gonna guess that it is not, for the moment. Okay, we don't have access to anything cool here. Are we going to chase down the lizards? Oh wow, they're looking actually very weak. So here's the thing. If we go after them, if they decide to take over the Shrine of Sotek, we chase them down and we attack them in the shrine, we will almost certainly win. They're very weakened. But then we're at war with Hexoatl, and that's a war that's not likely to end without one of us being eliminated. Lizards hold grudges. So we then have to fight through Maku Peaks, which should be easy enough, and then through Hexoatl with the huge garrison and the walls. I don't think it's a good idea. right now, since we already have another problem.
Onward, stagehands!
Alright, yeah, we gotta get up here and try to make something out of these New World colonies. I don't know what we're gonna do with them, but we gotta do something. Alright, so over here, public order is positive. Yeah, we should probably just level up Swamp Town. Gold is a little bit tighter than I was hoping it was going to be. Also, I don't like this. I don't know what his agent is doing, but it needs to back off. I mean, I appreciate that he's not actually taking any hero actions against us. I just would really like it if he would back off. So, unfortunately, I don't really have a good way of breaking this situation. If they want to just keep one army there, garrisoned in Port Reaver, and constantly recruiting, and then occasionally summon in a new lord and trade off units to that lord and have that lord sit right next to the city while recruiting until it's full, there's not really a ton I can do about that. At least not with my current stack. Or my current number of stacks. It might be necessary to disband our treasure hunting lord and instead have our second lord be over here so that we can bring more than 20 units to a fight. Although, with Cylostra, I suppose we do bring more than 20 units to a fight. Unfortunately, I just can't quite seem to figure out how to make that actually work in our favor. We discovered somebody over here hanging out in ambush stance. It looks like the Khemri are maybe having some problems. That's an awful lot of angry beastmen running directly toward that settlement. Well, that seems like a real them sort of issue. I have neither the time nor the inclination to care about that. Okay, vampire corruption up faction-wide. I think that's pretty valuable. The jungle is going to rebel against us again. Hold on, let's have you go. We did end our turn in the reef, so unfortunately we took quite a bit of attrition damage there. Are there... Okay, yeah, there are beaches we can land on down here, I think. Hey, go! Why are you not going? There we go. Alright, what is the other settlement down here called? Because there's definitely one more settlement over here. See if it has a name that is, the Wizard Caliph's Palace. Huh. Well, I mean, we'll try digging over here. We'll see how it works. I think we just kind of have to let them have this. How are we going to deal with Port Reaver? We don't have the ability to ambush with this army. Sing into the rafters, not a great way to sneak up on people. So how are we going to make this work? We kind of do need a second force over here.
Yes, my pretty.
And we can't quite raid them. We just don't... We're just a little bit short of the amount of movement that would be necessary. Well, that is a crying shame. I think we'll stay just barely on our side of the line. May as well. Okay. I didn't figure it was going to work since it didn't work in that same location last time. But let's go into encampment mode, because in encampment mode we have a little bit of bonus leadership and melee defense. And let's talk about a new technology. So is there, by any chance, anything that buffs the leadership of the normal zombie mobs? Well, certainly not in this pool. We could go for firepower, try to, like, power up our mortars and stuff. This will damage up for gunnery mobs. Yeah, these are all fine. None of them are, like, super relevant to our current position, especially given the low number of proper gunpowder units we have. Public order +2 in all provinces is pretty good, though. Income from ports up, income from raiding up. Those both seem pretty good. bonus versus infantry for our most basic units. That is certainly compelling. Recruit levels up. Upkeep down. A growth in all provinces thing, that's pretty handy. Melee defense up. So unfortunately it does not look like there's a lot of ways to increase our leadership. Oh, this'll do it. And this is a prerequisite for a bunch of stuff we're headed toward anyway. That does seem like a pretty good research. Imminent rebellion. Gee, what a surprise. When is there not an imminent rebellion? Now, I think it is the case that my province garrison has recovered. I guess I could have left these guys closer to the city. I wanted to try to be in range to really threaten the New World colonies. And especially I'm worried about backing up towards Swamp Town, making it so that I have to move so far to get back over the border that I won't be able to raid them. Because I'd really like to raid them. We have an optional objective for this chapter that includes quite a bit of raiding, and also I just want more money. But I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't really know, like, if the guys at Port Reaver are gonna play perfectly safe like this, I don't really know how to get through it. Okay, they're coming after us. What did they bring? This is 7 units, well, 8 counting him, plus all those guys. I kind of don't think we can take them, but if we retreat, they're both just going to convert into march mode and immediately move back to the city. Yeah, but a failure to take them right now means that Swamp Town has no defenses, and like we can't. Oh, interesting. They don't have enough movement to make it all the way home. Okay, this did open up some opportunities for us. At least I hope we have the movement to take advantage of that. My big concern is that we might be able to run over there and attack them, but they can probably retreat the same way we retreated, and we may not have enough movement to follow them after they do that. But yeah, if we could take down this army, then Port Reaver plus that army would be very, very doable. This is an important moment in our campaign. Looks like that herd of beastmen just dashed themselves against the wall there. Ah, we have not quite regenerated all the way. Now, the bloated corpse not being at full health doesn't really mean anything. But this is just going to be that same battle again, but this time with us doing slightly worse. Well, we have to try. I hate that this can happen again. I'm pretty sure that in previous games, it has always been the case that rebel armies had to stand around and recruit for a turn before they could attack. Maybe that's something that was changed in the Vampire Coast patch. I gotta say, not a fan. Not a fan of this change. It is exactly the same battle. Alright, well. We know what works. Sort of. We know what sort of works. Alright, let's just accelerate this part. Be good if we were in a position where we were already ready to flank. This guy might be too far back. Whatever, we'll be fine. If he shows up a little slowly, it's not really going to hurt anything. Okay, let's just open fire as quickly as we can here. If the Pistoliers are committing, we can probably get in on them, and we definitely need this dude to start running up. This is his moment. Show me some damage. Oh, hurry, they're grouped up so nicely. Oh, they're sending spears specifically to confront him. This is not ideal. Alright, fine. Ah, that was really bad. Okay, we probably lose then. I think it is very unlikely that we're going to be able to pull this off. Yeah, the formation is just like completely collapsed here. We can just run this in. It actually does not matter at all. I don't think we have any meaningful orders to give. If we could get these guys the rest of the way down, that'd be pretty good for us. They're actually like losing just in melee with us, which is very strange. I would not expect the gunnery mob to be able to defeat any actual melee troops in melee. But yeah, let's just get this over with. Weaken them as much as possible on the way out. Actually, you know what? I was about to say we'll weaken them as much as possible on the way out so that it's easy for our for Cylostra's army to just burn them down afterward. But actually, after they destroy this settlement, I think they might despawn. Because there's no longer a thing in the region for them to do. Yeah, that's annoying. It's also annoying that we were at, even with the military crackdown public order bonus from having put down a rebellion, we were getting a rebellion every turn. That's not really tenable. Not a position we can hold. We are going to have to resettle the region after we finish off the New World colonies, but that is going to leave it open to being messed with by the lizard men, and this whole start is not going very well. Oh, really? They just took it over. I mean, that's considerably better for us. It means we don't have to completely rebuild it. So what are you going to do? You could have a monkey jacket. I think we probably want to take Insatiable Hunger, although maybe Killing Cold is the way to go. This guy has so much melee attack and so much weapon strength that he maybe doesn't need extra damage against infantry. He's probably going to kill everything he hits. I don't feel certain of that, though. Yeah, alright. We'll take the Insatiable Hunger. And let's go have ourselves a fight. Yep, so they ran, but it looks like they did not run far enough. They were not able to run far enough. Alright, so the balance of power bar is disagreeing with the understanding of the New World Colonies army. Because if the balance of power bar was the way they thought of this battle, they wouldn't have run, right? I'm not sure what's going on there. Usually, if the balance of power bar says a battle will be won, the AI is eager to engage in that battle. So we have a handgun unit, a hand cannon unit, two grenadiers, I think, and then two normal pistol mobs. Yeah, let's gamble on that. 12's a little low. Okay, that was a really good outcome. So we have our 2 units of mortars already in range of the enemy units. I love that. I'm going to move this mortar over a little bit. Okay, that'll give us range on them right away. They have to run up the hill at us, which is awesome. Let's go... Yeah, handgunners. So, what's the deal with these pirates? With these bombers? They're basically grenadiers, I assume. They have their little bombs in their hands. So they only have 3 ammunition, but their stuff does some reasonable amount of damage. It explodes, which is cool. They're going to deliver their couple of ranged weapons really quickly. Holy crap, look at the size of the Haunter. What on earth? Was this guy a giant before he died? Tommy the Giant? That's terrifying. We got our deck droppers. Pretty much just need you guys to be ready to take over. And then we have a couple of unit types that we've never seen before. Obviously, I'm curious about the bombers. We have these guys. Animated Hulks. He just has a squid, like, strapped to his face? That's pretty... Oh, wow. They're all kind of like that, huh? Well, alright. That's pretty terrifying. I wouldn't want to fight that. Leadership 26. That's a very bad base value. I'm going to put these guys over here at the side of the formation in the hopes of getting some nice early wraparounds. And the dogs, which have Vanguard deployment, are probably going to be pretty good at picking off the archers, but we need to wait until that's a thing that can actually happen. The good news is the dogs are fast. We can hide them in this forest, and they can still probably be a part of the battle when they need to be.
Hero of Britannia!
Put the Paladin down on the side that doesn't have the animated hulks.
Lord me!
Cylostra over here, so we're getting as much coverage out of the leadership auras as possible. And we have a new spell to try out. 2 charges of Denizens of the Deep, along with the 2 charges of Sacrilege. Going to be a lot of units on the field. I have hope here. I think we're going to be alright. The mortars should start firing pretty much automatically. I don't think we necessarily need to do anything with these. They will pick their targets and do their thing. I don't think the enemy has any units that are particularly dangerous. Nothing that we have to, like, really prioritize first. Now, we want the dogs to run over and grab the crossbowmen, but I certainly don't want them to do it before they've separated from the other melee. Are these mortars screaming? Boy, they are low accuracy. Really, really bums me out how bad those are. Okay, that's good enough for me. Go get him. And you guys should probably just move out of range. Alright, it would be really cool if the mortars would make some kind of contact. Try to target units that are in the middle of lots of other units. Hoping to offset the terrible, terrible range problem we're having here. Or accuracy problem, rather. Got some decent hits there. Oh, here's a problem. Their archers are able to attack from way further than my my ranged units, even though they're firing up a hill. I was kind of hoping that the firing up a hill thing was gonna break in our favor. Well, we can't summon knights far enough forward to get involved. Can we summon... Nope, Denizens of the Deep seem to be even less far forward. So Cylostra probably needs to move up a little bit. We can summon some stuff on these guys. Try to have her... What we really need to be able to do here is summon the units behind the current incoming melee line. See that gunpowder going to work. So really, yeah, it only has to be, like, here. Because these guys will keep moving forward, right? As will Cylostra, apparently. And then the crabs won't spawn. So it seems to be a little misleading. Like, when it's blue, she's supposed to be able to cast from there, but she has to get much, much closer than it looks like, and then she has to stay close. I'm going to pop this to slow down the pursuit speed of these units over here, and we're going to start running forward. Although it turns out that my deck mobs can hold their own a little bit better than my gunner mobs can hold their own a little bit better than I expected. Alright, I'm hoping that we're going to get some really, really good fire out of our bombers here. I kind of want to stick around and watch it happen. But also, we have a lot of stuff to do this battle. A lot of things to keep track of. The Haunter's gonna wait until the lines are engaged a little bit more and then try to find a hole to go through. I'd like him to be in the middle of things, if possible. You probably have to get all the way back. It looks like the Hounds are doing a very impressive job on those archers. For some reason, there's a unit of swordsmen back here. I'm gonna have both of our mortars... Well, hold on. I was gonna say retarget on their archers, but actually, we can probably wait a second on that. I'd like us to fire one more time if we can. Alright, now we retarget on the archers. And... time for crabs. And... time for these guys to get involved. You know, I'm not even going to worry about the wraparound. Let's just crush these swordsmen real fast. Paladin... looks like we can run the Paladin straight through here and then hit those guys in the back. And we have a lot of spells we need to cast. Also, kind of want to watch the bombs go off, if they can actually get the bombs delivered. Yeah, okay, that's something. Oh, wait a second. I want the deck droppers to stay focused here. I want the wolves to chase those archers down. They are not yet surrendered all the way, not permanently, and I think that's something that needs to change. You guys need to attack those archers, and I'm going to have the Mourngull Haunter turn around and just eat this Empire General. I think we can probably take him. The bombers can probably get on that. Animated Hulks are doing their thing already. Let's summon some more units. We do not have enough bodies in this fight yet. Yeah, those bombers actually seem to be pretty scary.
We serve the lady. We depart the lion's will.
Questing Knights get a little bit of flank on. Honestly, this looks like it's going really well. Try to be careful not to hit too many of my own guys with that.
Defenders of the realm.
Alright, the dogs managed to chase the archers clean off the map. Now they can do the same to these guys. And we have a unit of their swordsmen tied up doing completely nothing just because they're obsessed with making sure that those dogs die. Now that things are easing up on this flank a little bit, I think we can probably move the gunnery mob over and try to shoot out anything that attempts to return to the battle. Cylostra's not actually engaged in battle, which is something we could probably fix. We also should summon more crabs. There's no reason not to use our full allotment of crab. Okay, it looks like this is actually just about over. I'm gonna have the hand cannon guys turn around and shoot at this Empire General. I'd really love it if he didn't come back. It looks like we've got them all retreating pretty much everywhere. Okay, yeah, there goes the big army break. You can see if enough of their units are retreating at the same time, it sometimes has that cascade effect I was talking about, where all of a sudden they all start failing. So that was a pretty decisive victory. We came out way, way ahead on that. We lost 183 units in total, and most of them just from the crappy melee mobs, which actually did fine on kills. The Mourngull Haunter didn't actually kill anyone, but he did a very important thing there. Driving their leadership aura off is very important. And the dogs got 124 kills between the 3 units of archers that they got to attack. In general, I think those dogs are pretty bad, but one thing that is not super clear from their stats, and kind of relies on you knowing how the mechanics of fleeing work, is that the dogs, the dire wolves or the vampire hounds or whatever, whatever your army's brand of dog is, dogs are better at killing fleeing units than almost any other unit in the game, owing partially to their high attack and their movement speed and stuff. And yeah, we're definitely ransoming. We got another 5% campaign movement range, and they just lost pretty much everything there. That's very bad for them. So we are going to march right up, and then we may... Oh, hold on. We may as well dig for treasure. Okay, no big surprise there. And then we may as well encamp. We have enough money that we can pull some cool stuff out of the recruitment pool. There's another Carronade available. More hand cannons. We could get some depth guard now. So what's the difference between the depth guard and the ones with pole arms? Oh wow. Normal depth guard have a lot more melee attack. Look at that. And much, much higher weapon strength. Okay, I would like to recruit the depth guards. So let's take all these deckhands, smush them together, and then kick out the weakest one and replace them with these guys. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. That's a different unit of deck droppers. Oh, deck dropper bombers. We should make this happen. Now notice we are slightly negative on money. We're starting to have too many high upkeep units. And I maybe don't want to dilute my number of melee units anymore. They're kind of a weird assortment of guys, but I really want these dudes. They have almost 100 more upkeep than the units I'm thinking of kicking out for to get their place, though. Maybe we shouldn't. It just seems like the normal deck droppers are not great, but deck dropper bombers could really mess some people up. They don't really have a lot of ammo. Nah, you know what? We'll leave it. We'll leave it. Okay, well, Port Reaver is probably mine on this coming turn. Oh, is there... There actually is not... I thought this was beach, but no, it's all cliff. Okay, well... We have to make landfall near the Sorcerer's Islands. That's... crappy, but...
Plotting a course.
Not all wonders are created by the gods themselves. Some are mortal creations, wherein lies what you seek. And the area includes a little bit of this province beyond the mountains, it looks like. Boy, I really don't know what this could be.
Ahoy!
I guess we have to just get up on land and start trying stuff.
Setting sail.
They are not going to care for this.
Admiral of the fleet.
Okay. So we got to take Port Reaver, then we got to go back and get Swamp Town back as quickly as possible. And then... I don't know what. And then our eyes turn toward the lizard men, but I'm still not sure how we're actually going to fight them. Sauruses are maybe like borderline too good as a core infantry unit at this point in the game. They don't really get too much better, though. Later in the game, they'll start to be able to run Temple Guard for the most part instead of the Sauruses, but it's not a huge upgrade. It's certainly nowhere near the difference between like swordsmen and great swords for the Empire. So I guess it's not that big of a deal later on. We just have to be able to survive the early Saurus part of the game, which is definitely what I am worried about right now. It was really beneficial, though, to set up this big raised dead pile early on, especially in a position like Port Reaver, where it's going to be right next to Hexawaddle. So we can suddenly recruit a bunch of great units without having to necessarily have the tech for them. They're putting together another army, but they're not going to be able to actually muster anything good in a single turn. And they have to start mustering now. They're not going to get anything this turn. And once we take Port Reaver from them, they are obliterated. So at least we don't have to worry about reprisals. Deacon's errantry. Okay, this is some nonsense over here in the desert. We don't have to worry about that. I'm really not sure what these guys are going to do from here.
The curtain raises.
Okay, it's going to make us fight this manually. I think this battle looks easier than the last one.
And now,
But I'm concerned that if we hit auto-resolve there, we would get a really bad result based on the balance of power bar. So let's get in here and take care of it with our own hands. It certainly doesn't help them that they're going to have to come in piecemeal, because every unit that has to walk in from the edge of the map is going to have to weather the mortar fire. Hopefully our mortars will prove themselves a little bit more effective during this battle than they did during the last. 12 is pretty bad. So I think they're probably going to want to form up together. They're going to start over here. So we should put our mortars down in a place where we can punish them for doing that. No, actually considerably further forward, it looks like. That didn't really move our cone of fire forward at all. Alright, that's the best we're going to be able to do. Handgunners. It seems like it's pretty good to have the bombers right in front of the artillery as the enemy approaches. And then the hand cannons kind of seem like they're not good at all at shooting enemies as they come in. So we're going to leave those guys right here. And put these guys right there. And my hope is that we can use the hand cannons to flank around the enemies after they've engaged. Alright, what do we want to do with the depth guard? Berserker axe infantry with hunger and like actual leadership values and stuff. These guys seem pretty good. Oh wow, look at that. They have like discipline and an actual formation and everything. Also, that's some pretty good looking armor. And it's a little cosplay, I guess, but on the whole, not bad. Alright, what do we want to do with the dogs? We definitely don't want to put the dogs in this stand of trees, because like it's very obvious that there are going to be enemies coming through there. I'm going to put this guy over here, just in case they decide to get clever on this side by rushing forward from the reinforcement point. Bats can, I don't know, be over here. So the dogs are going to have to either go like way out to the side or be standing in the open and just run across to the enemy archers. That might be viable. In fact, we could do this with no intent of having them remain hidden. Just immediately try to run around the backside of the enemy formation and see if we can't be like a huge distraction. You also have Vanguard deployment. He's a little bit more valuable and irreplaceable, though. And also actually a good fighter. I'm just going to put him here.
Madam Captain!
It looks like, does he not have a leadership aura? I don't think he does. I suppose that makes sense. Let's gamble, because we're not going to be able to summon crabs as much as we would like if we start with only 12. Oh man, we won our gamble. Oh, they did not start nearly as focused on reinforcement as I thought they would. Well, I'm going to keep one of the mortars facing this way, and this mortar is going to turn considerably. We can use this one to have at these guys as they approach. Alright, the dogs. It's really important that I not just eat a ton of archer fire with these guys, because they are really not resilient to that. We're going to have to run across the line of fire a little bit here. Oof, yeah, look at how much damage they're taking, and how quickly they're losing morale. The good news is they've separated considerably already. We're getting some good mortar hits. But you know, I have all my units on guard mode, which means that they will not naturally attempt to chase fleeing enemies. That's something we gotta fix, because guard mode is not always appropriate. It looks like we're pretty much just sacrificing the dogs to break up their formation here. If we can keep their ranged off of us, it's probably worth it. I don't know that I care that much about losing them. It's part of the problem. Could run these guys forward to try to pick off some archers while they're distracted. I think it's reasonable, I guess. Some pretty good ranged fire there. Actually, it's probably not that great to have the Morngul Haunter go directly toward the shields, or the spears, rather. It seems like a fine time to start in with some of this nonsense. And yeah, look at the amount of damage we've done just with ranged. Let's have the Paladin step forward. I'm actually gonna have these guys kind of run out to the side. These guys need to get up here. Trying to leave a path open for bombs to come flying out. And here, it doesn't really matter. The Halberdiers are a little bit better at actual combat than their other units, but obviously the main value of Halberdiers is fighting large units, which we don't have a huge amount of. Alright, I'm going to have these guys run now. They got a couple of shots off. We don't need to lose them, too. Let's have Cylostra run up here, because she can apply that that aura of hers pretty effectively. Knights. And crabs. So gonna have the knights just run through for the enemies over here. Okay, so this side seems to be completely under control, which means we can move some of these guys around over here. I definitely want to make sure that the mortars have an angle on their archers. Let's have this group of mortars reposition a little bit. The hand cannons kind of revealed themselves there before I was ready to reveal them. I don't think it much matters. I think they're gonna be just fine. We are losing our animated hulks though to spear nonsense. We should try to resolve. Buy them a little bit of breathing room here. Questing Knights are doing the Questing Knight thing. Hey, the whole lot of you should probably, like, get over here and participate in the battle, huh? Let's have a couple of these zombie mobs. Just make sure these guys don't actually rejoin the battle. Is she gonna actually summon those, or...? Alright, here they come. Big buffs for you. Let's activate our wand and try to get some more magic in here so that I can cast a little bit. But yeah, Cylostra is actually terrifying. The Rotting Prometheans seem to do really, really fine work. Where is she at on cooldowns for the Knights? Probably it's going to be a little while, especially since I believe the Wand of Jet will negatively affect their spawn time. They're a character ability, not a... Yeah, it's ability recharge. Okay, yeah. We're not going to be able to summon those for a good long while. And really all that's left is the archers. Try to get over here and get my spell off on them. Man, we're not going to be able to catch up to them, actually. Morgul Haunter is handling that. Okay, it looks like actually they're just about to completely give up. This is the only guy who's still really fighting. And the Morgul Haunter is making short work of him. We have another hero coming in here. If we can just break down their heroes, the rest of their force really doesn't have anything left. Oh, don't you all run. The Paladin's supposed to stay there and fight. And you guys just, like, charge that general, because he's the only thing they have left. Honestly, I gotta say, I've been pretty impressed with the performance of these Grenadiers. Maybe get up there. It is a shame that we don't seem to be very good at keeping the pressure on. Part of this is that I have a lot of my units in guard mode because I don't want them to chase in situations where chasing is illogical. But that does mean that they don't chase in situations where it's logical either. I predict that this goes really poorly for the guy who has a physical body. Apparently we're not actually going to get to see that. This dude is at full health. Look at him, and he's just as creepy as the day is long. He's not even actually fighting. He just wades into the middle of combat and then swings his lower jaw around at people, and they scream and flee. Man, maybe I overestimated the amount of damage the Grenadiers were doing, because it looks like the handgunners may have actually taken all the kills on that side of the battle. Depth Guard were about as great as I thought they would be. Mortars really played a part there. Artillery make it very, very difficult to successfully run a group of backline archers, because they just get absolutely pounded, especially if they're a type of ranged unit that has to stand still to fire. Okay, that's pretty good. Oh, I also got an item there. I think we just occupy this. And we got ourselves a Sartosan map right. He didn't immediately equip to a hero, so I wonder if maybe we don't have anybody who can hold him. Different followers can only be attached to certain heroes. Oh, maybe that's the problem. Both of the heroes in this army already have map rights, because we got more than one map right from that battle. Alright, I think we should probably take Kiss of the Deep. I don't know exactly how much damage it is. I assume it's not a huge amount, but in battles where we cast, like, Tide Call several times, it probably adds up.
Madame Cylostra, dear fan.
And we can now hire in a little bit more. We could grab the other Depth Guard. Oh man, those guys are really expensive, though. I don't know that we can afford to pay the upkeep for another set of Depth Guard. Man, these guys are still pretty good, though. Even though they are specialized in other things. I think I'm going to grab a handgun gunnery mob to replace the lost hand cannons. And then we probably don't need another siege weapon. We have 327 income left. I mean, I could grab the other deck droppers and really wipe that out. I wish there was something in the middle, you know, between Depth Guard and zombie pirate deckhands. I'm just going to take the Depth Guard. It's going to put us a little bit negative, but we're doing really well here. We'll reclaim our land. Do I want our paladin on a warhorse? I think so. It's going to make him a little less good at just standing and fighting, but it's going to make him even more effective at chasing archers around, which is something I think we still need more people to do. The enemy archers are actually getting to fight still. It's unacceptable. I do love Raised Dead. We get to have a full power army forever. Okay, so what we really need now is to be making more money. I mean, we got to come back down here and claim this, right?
Not likely.
Ian Sidao is the only thing that this faction has left. He may just dash himself against our walls. Let's end the turn here. We'll start the next video at the beginning of the next turn, but I kind of want to see if he just attacks the settlement. Because sometimes when you get an enemy army really, really low on health, or when you get an enemy faction really, really low on guys, they just basically commit suicide. I assume it's despair overtaking their good senses. I really, really don't like the way Mazdamundi is eyeing us. I don't have time for you just yet. Don't worry, you and I are going to have a long and complicated history by the time the game is over. But for the moment, I have other things I have to deal with. And we need 5 more settlements before we get our chapter reward, which we could really use. It turns out that while we are making more gold than I think a lot of factions make at this very early point in the game, there's always a real resource crunch at the very beginning. We're also going through it really, really quickly. I wonder if the Empire Secessionists actually get to build a garrison. I don't know that I've seen rebel armies try to survive before. Yeah, guy just hurls himself against us. We trivially shoot him to death as he approaches. Wow, turns out he had 500 gold on him. Almost 600. And another level for Cylostra. So yeah, like I said, we are definitely going to be at rank 10 by the time the chapter ends. Also, we have another treasure map here. The dragon stirs, awaking with fury, but forever trapped in the ash of his own making. I bet this is an Ulthuan thing. Ulthuan seems to be where most kinds of dragons are from. Quest issued. Oh, she reached a high enough level that we've gotten the quest now for her legendary item. So we have to get 6,000 gold into the treasury. With her cursed ship and damned crew, Madame Captain Cylostra Dauphin perpetually sails the seas. I am not doing a good job of her last name. Relentlessly searching for an audience to witness her beautiful, deadly songs. Her cursed vocal cords, which enable her to paralyze her victims, become more potent during ocean tempests. Yet any ship she encounters at any point on her travels might be a target, dooming seafarers to song-induced paralysis before they are dragged to watery graves by her undead deckhands. In order to be constantly ready for the show, however, Cylostra demands the most prestigious platform from which to sing. The Lamprey, an old and rickety vessel, is her floating stage and requires improvements of the standard that she demands. To that end, Cylostra must first fill the ship's coffers with booty. Alright, so we get to this, we'll get some armor, and eventually, this is going to lead us through a chain of things. Oh hey, we got our command crews. It's going to lead us through a chain of things that eventually will reward us with this item. +2 public order in all provinces, a greatly increased chance to get magic items after battles, and the ability to improve our power recharge rate and lower the cooldowns of our other abilities. That seems very okay. Sometimes legendary items are just insanely powerful. The active ability on this one is pretty cool, but the rest of it honestly is not very impressive to me. All right, let's grab some other stuff. We could gain the ability to overcast Tide Call, causing it to do more armor-piercing damage. Probably, honestly, pretty valuable against the Lizardmen, who tend to have a lot of armor. Or we could pick up the Fog of the Damned. Affects a 200-meter radius. Oh, no, sorry. It's a target within 200 meters. Or, no, is it a 200-meter area within 30 meters? Because effect range is 30. I don't know if that means the range at which it can be cast, or the range that the effect occurs in, like, from the center point. But in any case, that's a pretty powerful debuff. Minus melee attack, minus leadership in those amounts. And we do already have Tide Call. I will say this is very expensive. It's hard for me to imagine wanting to cast this when we could just be doing more damage, you know? So we've gained the ability to overcast Tide Call, and the next level of that will improve the overcast and lower the mana cost and stuff. Or the winds cost, rather. And with that, I think we probably shouldn't make any more decisions this turn.
Sing the songs of death.
Our army's in pretty good shape. Honestly, we probably just come down here. It looks like Swamp Town is not generating a garrison, but they do have almost a full stack in place now. We gotta get them under control before this gets any worse. Although, honestly, spearmen are maybe even worse than swordsmen for most purposes. We do have to be a little bit careful about our, like, abominations and stuff. But that is, in fact, going to be it for us for today. Thank you all so much for watching. We made a little bit of progress this time. We wiped out an enemy. Come back next time for the wiping out of a new enemy, albeit one that we created through our terrible management of our town. And we'll see you then.